Short in Vienna, rumor has it that Young is maid of one of his patients' mistress. He later tells Sabina about it and tells him that he feels guilty and divided, so he decides to end their affair, but she tries her best to prevent them. Young goes away reluctantly. One day Sabina enters with anger in Young's office and he asks why he told his mother about their bond. He replies that his mother was already at current. He made a stupid mistake by committing to this link and now he is only a doctor and was going his furious patient. Sabina takes a knife on the table and cut it. Incredulous Young face watches her go. Sabina then writes a letter to Freud and asks him to meet him because that would benefit both of them. She also mentions her relationship physics with Young in the letter. Freud decrees therefore a letter to Young and him asks about this woman, but Young replies that she was just a friend and that it is probably an attempt at revenge because he is not fallen into these techniques of seduction. Young also asks Freud to serve as an intermediary between because his wife has already done him a lot of harm. Freud and sends a response to Sabina there, denies seeing her meet and says that Young is not capable of a behavior so shabby and that he should settle their problems even without appealing to an intermediary like him. This answer breaks Sabina's heart, who goes again to the Lion office. To his surprise, Young gets ready. Already from leaving, she apologizes if he has to leaving because of her, but Young said that he was going to leave anyway. Her then confronts him with the fact that there is their relationship to leave. He says this and none of to write a Freud letter and tell him everything so that Freud can take as a patient. He agrees to control the informs that it leaves in America. Sabina tells her it's fine for him and leaves Freud's office. Receives the letter from Young, confesses his relationship, so he writes to Sabina and apologizes. He appreciates his way of managing the conflict and agrees to meet her. Freud and Young then climb onto the ferry to leave for America, where they are going to show their theory on the psychoanalysis to the rest of the world, but even on the ferry they're in disagreement with each other over many stitches and a crack in them. Friendship is clearly felt after that. Young is describing his dream for Freud's analysis, refuses to describe his dreams or may be angry. Even during the conference he underlines the mistakes of the other and send them back to each other. The arguments this further reinforces the bitterness of their relationship and all the world sees them as Young in Switzerland to work on his thesis. However, they begin again a physical relationship and Young asks her not to leave this time, but her is determined and decides to leave this time. 2 years later in Vienna, Sabina became a psychiatrist and meets Freud to discuss his theory. She thinks that the activity sex is an act that is both productive and destructive because it can create a new being from destruction of two people. Young should work together to solidify the foundations of the psychoanalysis. My breaks do not want to work with Young because of their differences. However, he confides when even some of his patients at Sabina. Young and Freud exchange letters for a while in an attempt to resolve their differences, but to no avail. Freud then decides to put an end to his relationship with him and writes him a last letter. A year past, Sabina one day meets Emma in her garden. She is now married, pregnant, after some discussion, and is not himself since he stopped talking to Freud and he doesn't sleep well. Sabina accepts and go talk to Young. Elle sits next to him and realizes that he is no longer like before. Young him reveals that he constantly dreams apocalyptic or a flood causes the death of thousands of people. What prevents him from sleeping correctly? The subject passes to Freud. Young reveals that Freud lost her when he refused to share his dream in order to protect his authority. Wants to develop a method that does not content to treat patients but helps them find out what they can be. Young he wants always be with Sabina, but who that can do nothing for now. In the end, from the film we learn that Otto is dead. Hungry in Berlin, Freud was driven out of Vienna by the Nazis and died of cancer. Sabina trained some of the analysts, the most eminent of the new Union Soviet, but was shot down in a nervous breakdown to become the main psychologist and passed away peacefully in 1961. Be sure to subscribe for be able to watch more movie summary like this. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe you.